dating advice is to be over that hurdle. Be incredibly happy with someone that loves you a lot, and then look back and laugh at the people that struggled the way you struggled a few years prior. Am I talking for personal experience? I will not tell you.
Maybe we have to look in the past. In this video, we're going to talk a bit
Remember video games when they were introduced to the ancient Roman Empire and then loneliness started? That was crazy.
about modern female loneliness. And then we're going to have some fun looking at some dating advice from the 1950s to see if we can find a solution there.
I'm just saying, women were invented by the shadow government to sell more tampons, yes. Chat, you are so right.
what worked for our grandmothers surely will work for us, right? Back in the day when people would still go to malt shops and diners instead of
Ordering food in your house! Femboy Hooters. Listen, y'all hated me for my last shoe on head thumbnail. Ladies and I've been getting a lot of questions about my latest shoe on head thumbnail. Listen, I try my best to make them look as fucked up as I possibly can. Bro, you do not know which I got this thumbnail from a hentai site. I literally looked up Femboy Nuxtaku and this showed up, okay? Now the reason why it's covered here is because this is actual porn. Like this is actual porn. This is on Rule 34. I was very appalled and shocked, and I did not pay for this. And anyway.
boy hooters. Women dated men for more than just their wallets.
Dude, see, this is what I'm saying. This is all fiction. This is a fictional chat. Let's be real. Okay. All right, dude. Okay. Yeah.
Which reminds me, before we get into this video, let's quickly get into today's sponsor,
Let's go.
Ridge Wallet.
Ridge Wallet. That's perfect, dude. That's amazing. Because they only like meant for their wallet. Honestly, very basic.
Ridge wallets are high-quality, minimalist wallets that
Why did she put makeup only for the ad? Wait, I am so confused.
can hold up to 12 cards.
No shot. She went in a whole 1970s outfit for this video. That's amazing. The commitment to the bit. I have never needed to get dressed to make content in my entire life.
Cards and all that cash you don't have. They're also made
Oh shit.
with RFID blocking technology, which can help protect you from digital pickpocketers.
Yeah, but the thing is, how are people gonna think I have a big penis by the size of my wallet that bulges out of my pants if I use a Ridge wallet? Bet you didn't think of that, huh? Huh? Women would never understand.
Ridge's store features over 30 unique colors and styles, including carbon fiber, matte all and I am constantly
Very excited to skip to the end of the ad so she can call out, and thank you for not skipping the ad. Are you ready?
for not skipping the ad.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
The number of single women in the US is expected to increase 1.2% every year.
Coincidentally, women on Twitter want to kill men. This is a coincidence, and one has nothing to do with the other. The murder of countless men has nothing to do with the loneliness increase of women. You see, these are two completely non-correlating facts. I have to stop saying random bullshit that's gonna get taken out of context and get me in trouble.
2008 to 2030, compared to a 0.8% increase in the overall population. This will result in 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 who will be single and childless by 2030.
I'm just saying, is it weird that we're talking about the female loneliness epidemic that's going on in the year 2024? And there's about 50% men and 50% women in society, but no one was really talking about the female loneliness epidemic that happened after World War II, when millions of men were killed and there were like 70% of the population was women. But then no one was talking about, I'm just saying, if this isn't a government psyop pulling the strings to sell more tampons, I don't know what is.
Now, according to some people, this is apparently a good thing. More women being single and childless is a good thing. Society is progressing. Women no longer have to be chained up and turned into breeding cows.
What?
Women no longer have to be chained up and turned into breeding cows.
God, she could get away with so much. Dude, and you say sexism is dead? Everyone that says sexism is dead, you are all liars. She could get away with anything. She has so much power. I couldn't say something like this ever in my life. Literally never. Oh God, all the power in the palm of her hand.
1984. Apparently, single women spend more than the average family on travel,
Telling you, vaginas give you superpowers. I'm working on a theorem to it.
shopping, makeup, skincare, etc. So of course, some economists will twist this into a positive thing. But I'm not an economist. I'm your average, humble, working-class American YouTuber, slaving over a hot laptop, producing
Listen. People like me, Shuan and Hassan, are really struggling out here, doing the hardest job known to mankind, making content on the internet.
absolutely nothing of value to society. And I don't think this is a good thing. I think this is proof things are going very wrong. And if you look at the stats about how so many women are on antidepressants and how the female suicide rate is increasing, there may
To be
be
fair, there weren't really antidepressants 100 years ago. And also, to be even more fair, they used to think mental illness was kind of a scam, and now we're finally willing to acknowledge the fact that mental illness is a very real thing. So these metrics aren't necessarily 100% on the mark. People were probably depressed back in the day as well. It's just society wasn't willing to accept that as a real thing, and they were saying, wait, you mean you're sad? Sounds like you need 3 sips of beer and to get your ass back on the ranch.
friendship, family, and sexual intimacy are a big part of the hierarchy of needs. And I don't think women are happier being alone and single. I just think
I
women
think it depends on the person, probably.
might be better at
Maybe not alone. I don't think anyone's happy being alone. Some people think they're happy being alone until they realize once they find someone that's important to them, how unhappy they actually were being alone. I think this is a very real thing. A lot of people, I think, live in this state of cognitive dissonance where they have to always mentally convince themselves that they're actually based and doing the right thing and that they are actually doing something that they're proud of, even when in actuality they are not. When they have to believe something and they sink in this pit of needing to continue believing it, even if it's bullshit, just they have to keep believing it because they believed it until now, they're not going to just completely shoot that all in the ass. And you really got to take a step back and realize, oh, I am very, very weird, and I am not into this is crazy. What? Like, I feel like this is a real thing that a lot of people end up getting to at certain points. I am someone that's generally very happy being alone, but I have to say, once I got to a point in my life where I was less alone, I realized how kind of not super happy I was when I was alone compared to when I wasn't. Does that make sense? I don't know.
coping with being alone and single. At least for a little while.
I just had like the craziest, saddest thought. I'm in a stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies.
When you talk about the subject, a lot of men will point out that these women could easily get any man to sleep with. And I'm sure they know that. But
That's such a bad argument. I see it all the time. It's like, what are you complaining about? You know any man would be happy to sleep with you. And it's like, bro, you don't want someone to just sleep with her. She wants to make a family. To wake up next to someone in the morning. To tell him that, yo, you didn't buy me flowers. And now I hate you. So that she can divorce someone. And get on her second marriage. And then maybe your second marriage will work out a little bit better. Like, everyone wants the okay, maybe not exactly that, like, maybe not exactly.
sex isn't the only thing people are looking for. As
Alright, Chad, you hear that? You heard it here first.
I said in the male loneliness video, it would be relatively easy for a lot of these incels to just get laid, hire.
I don't know. Have you met your 93% audience? I'm just saying.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
You're a hooker, and it would take the average woman like 5 minutes to find a man to
Don't
sleep.
get a hooker. Not worth it. Don't get a hooker. Come on. You want your first time to be with a hooker? You're always gonna think back, and the first time was like, oh.
Trying to
don't do
stream every day.
Just walk the outside. But casual sex isn't the solution to loneliness.
I honestly, really hot take, casual sex makes loneliness worse because when it's something casual, right, and it's something that's not necessarily consistent and it's not with any form of emotional connection, at some point you're just gonna realize, holy shit, I am very, very alone. I think it reminds you how alone you are. The next day, you're just gonna want it again and more, and you're just gonna realize, holy shit, I am pathetic. I think casual sex, if anything, is worse for loneliness than not. I don't know.
It's a band-aid. It's a way to fill your void.
Yeah, but only literally while it's happening. It's a way to fill your void for the 30 until
Look how
post-nut
red it's
clarity.
getting outside.
Then post-nut clarity hits, and then bam, and it's like, oh shit, oh no, oh god.
Scary music
I'm in
starting.
Bosch's horse porn folder.
With cum. Trying to find someone to love, to marry, to have a family with nowadays, it is incredibly difficult for both.
Does she ever drink her tea, or does she record? This video was 25 minutes long. That means it must have taken like an hour to record it if you include all the pausing and editing and audio editing. This tea has just been full the entire time. Like, I don't know, but it's starting to bother me.
Both genders in this climate today. And it seems like nowadays the only
Did she just say both genders? Twitter gonna have a field day with that one. Twitter gonna go crazy.
acceptable way to do so is to swipe right. We live in an increasingly atomized, lonely society thanks to a nasty combination of social media, technology, hookup culture, lack of community, lack of friends, lack of purpose, lack of money.
Why is she reminding me of all these things? I was so happy before I started this video, and now she's reminding me.
Stage capitalism, neoliberalism, and
Okay, alright. My genders, pronouns are freedom and America. My sexual orientation is libertarian.
so many other things. And men are being told to, well, nothing.
Get to AI girlfriend.
You're on your own.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's a wild society. Like, if you think about it, it's kind of ironic how we're living in a world where, I get all philosophical to watch content videos now. But, like, we're living in a world where, when it comes to taking care of mental health, we have never been this advanced. As far as society goes, in the history of mankind, we have never been this attuned to protecting people's mental health. But while all that somehow, there are no actual societal solutions to any of it. It's no advice to fix it yourself. It's just like, oh, you should know you have mental issues and you should take drugs to fix it, and maybe you should see therapists, and all this is important. I'm not saying it's not, but there's a very pivotal part to it that's just the societal aspect of it that's just kind of ignored for some weird reason. Like, you think, as attuned as we are, we would take measures in society to try to get around that.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's
And look at this bootstraps. She says bootstraps every single video.
your fault. You built the world after all, and are increasingly turning to the few people who at least pretend to give a shit.
Andrew Tate! Andrew Tate! Andrew Tate! Wait, dude, hold up. I have to pull it. Wait, I saw this stupid
I'm cool, I have friends and many of women. Your girlfriend and mates are in my mentions. They call me cause of pizza.
Alright, you get the freaking point. You get the point. Editor, just leave the ABCD part and try to avoid content. Anyway.
Who just wind up selling them poison that ultimately hurts them in the end. Like,
Yeah, dude. Every course to turn you from a useless, pathetic, lonely, old, pathetic man into a badass, top G, whamming, capturing mad lad. Dude, run away from those courses, please!
hollow materialism, eternal one-night stands, and vasectomies.
I think that's becoming a high-value man. Do not get married. Avoid family vacation. That is the fucking worst advice in the universe!
Yeah, in case you were wondering, that's what the red pill has been up to. Telling the audience to just forget marriage and to neuter themselves.
What the frick? One. Vasectomy. Vasectomy. What the frick are you smoking?
While women, in turn, are also being given very similar poison. About how it's good to be single, it's empowering. You don't need no man. Get on the pill, move around, climb the corporate ladder, and don't worry, baby. We'll freeze your eggs for you. But
I mean, dude, have you seen the new Netflix Avatar? I'm just saying. Sokka was basically told, Sokka, you are not a warrior. You are not responsible. You have a big heart. And then Katara, instead of actually training from a master, she learns all the water bending herself. And then Zuko's like, you found a master. And she says, I did. I am my own master. Spoilers for the Netflix Avatar. But basically,
But is this good advice for women? Or have we girl bossed a little too close to the sun? A study on date
I did not pre-watch.
psychology recently revealed that 48% of men 26 to 40 years old have not approached women in the past year, and 60% of men
Listen, maybe you don't approach women because you are married. Ever consider that? Huh?
aged 18 to 25 said they haven't. In the entire data set, 30% of men said they never approached a woman in person before.
Yes. Somehow every Minecraft user is not a statistic. Can you please explain to me? Please explain to me how it is that in a world of Minecrafters, okay? These are the nerdiest losers on the planet. None of them fell into the 30%. How?
Ultimately, because, like I said, everything that isn't swiping right on a dating app nowadays is considered creepy.
It is true. It's true. Do not approach women. Do not talk to women. Talking to women without consent is basically rape. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. I don't think.
Approach women at the bar. Don't approach women at the gym. Don't approach women at coffee shops. Don't approach women at work.
Why would you approach women? They're scary as hell. Just marry a good one and don't worry about it. It's easy. Your mom, like the good old days. Okay, that was all sarcasm. Don't pay any attention to me.
Don't approach women at the mall. Don't approach women. We live in HR world. And it turns out a lot of women don't like HR world. Every time I see videos of women crying about not being approached by men or being lonely, the comments and replies are always full of men like, enjoy your cats. This is what you asked for. This is
Dude, what the fuck? Literally, it's insane. It's wild watching the world just burn.
the world you wanted, ladies. But was it? Not every woman is the blue-haired, man-hating, feminist stereotype.
It's kind of hilarious because it's so both sides, right? It's like you'll have lonely men, and then you'll have some ridiculous, insane fringe weirdos on Twitter just
Jesus!
saying, you deserve it! You probably racist because you're a man and marry you. And then you'll have some other creepy freak job extreme dudes. You did this to yourself! You did this to yourself! You didn't look at women anymore! They are counted as rape! Dude, literally. Both sides are hilariously stupid. And it's always that's why Twitter is not a real place. Twitter is a place for people that have no life experience. Bro, Twitter's not real.
That you have in your mind. A lot of them want the same exact world you do. What you have to understand is society in the media is basically like your fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar, cock-blocking and talking to her.
That was a great analogy.
No!
Solid.
Excuse me? She's not interested. Even though chances are, she might be. According to the same study on date psychology,
Fucking dogs.
77% of women aged 18 to 30 want to be approached more.
Damn.
So if men are lonely and women are lonely, but
There's
men
no
are too
solution.
afraid to approach women nowadays, there's only one thing we can do, ladies.
Women, flip the scale! Dude, this is actually huge brain. I see where she's going. I'm seeing through the matrix. Flip the scale. You'll have dudes sitting at the bar just drinking all alone, winking and like, you know, slowly like making sexy motions at the bar. And then women will approach the men at the bar and be like, hey, baby. Yes! Yes! Dude, the future is here. It is now.
We must approach them.
And pay the bill. And open the door for us and drive us around. Listen. It's all or nothing. Yeah, there's no, you approach us and then we pay for your meal. No. You approach us, you pay for our drinks, goddammit. I make the rules. As someone that will never be in that situation ever in my life because I am unfathomably based.
So I did a little research and looked up how to approach men as a woman.
Wait, what? Of course she did. Of course she did.
Number 1.
Don't bring up the breeding cow analogy again. It works, but don't bring it up.
Don't. Almost every single article, blog post, tweet thread, giving advice to women on how to get a man said some shit like, don't chase him, let him chase you.
Dude, hard to get is so cringe. Has that ever made sense in the history of time? hard to get. Like, whenever I see, like, that gimmick, it's like, oh, no, dude, don't answer her call yet. You'll make her, like, want you more. It's like, no, you fucking idiot. If you're interested, answer the goddamn call. Like, you won't. This has never worked in the history of time.
Be unavailable and mysterious. Simply pretend he doesn't exist.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Awesome. Almost every...
It's like, on the one hand, it's like, oh my god. Men, do not pressure women. If they say no, no is no. Women, always say no. Because you want to play hard to get. Wow, somehow this doesn't jive with each other for some reason.
Every single bit of dating advice I found amounted to let them come to us. But what if they're not coming to us? What do we do now? Well, according to the
We make internet videos for millions of people to enjoy. In fact, 7% of our audience is women, I hear. It's not compared to my 13% women, but 7%'s pretty okay. Maybe one day you'll be able to talk to women like I do. Shoe on head. Damn, I've never felt this superior in my life.
great philosophers of our time, Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate.
No!
Problem is, the modern woman. Lazy, entitled, mid. These are the ingredients that create the modern woman.
No! No! Listen, I'm just saying, if the modern woman can only have 7% of her audience women, I'm just saying. Alright, I have to stop making fun of that.
So clearly we have to go back. Back when a cheeseburger was 5 cents and women were lobotomized. That's right.
Don't. The women lobotomized and ready for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3.
We must return to the 1950s.
One of the most common ways to find a partner these days.
The 1950s, what a great time for women, where their competition was at the absolute highest because half the men were killed in war.
Is by using dating apps and websites, but back in the 1950s, you had to get a little bit more creative. Here's an article from 1958 in McCall's magazine, listed 129 ways for women to get a husband.
Yes, finally.
List has gone viral so many times on the internet, and I have been sitting on this video idea for years. And what better time to talk about this now that all you bitches single as fuck. But don't worry.
God damn. She waited for the loneliness stocks to rise before making this video. Before cashing out her stocks, she waited for the absolute peak of the market. Goddamn legend.
We are going to see if the red pill and schizophrenic Roman statue trad larper accounts on Twitter.
I love the Roman statue accounts on Twitter. Every single guy who uses a Roman statue as the profile picture on Twitter is just like, dude, you know that they live in their mom's basement.
Are correct. Did women in the 1950s have better dating advice than women today? Because apparently what we're doing today, crying on TikTok, is just not working for us.
I disagree. Crying on TikTok is a meta move. It is, in fact, something very powerful. For you see, it could be total lies. You don't even need to be honest about the things you're crying about. In fact, 90% of your content could be absolute fabrication. I mean, bro, this is the new YouTube meta. You hire actors on Craigslist to play pathetic people so that when you insult them, you're insulting a paid actor. It is literally the meta.
Okay, let's just dive into this. Let's go. Number 1, get a dog and walk it.
Damn. So get a dog, but not only get a dog, but make sure that the dog doesn't die of heat stroke and lack of exercise in your apartment. That's pretty solid, honestly.
Honestly, this is pretty good advice. This is fine advice.
This is neutral as fuck advice. I would listen. I am a man, so if these are 129 tips for women to get men, this would not work on me. Because you see, I view dogs as very cute creatures that I enjoy a lot to play with. However, they are a lot of work, and walking them would probably end up being my job. So therefore, huge dog, I will pet it. We will never take this further. Anyway.
If you have a dog...
Listen, it's not easy
Alright,
to
I
be
gotta pee right
professionally
quick.
lazy like I am. I have tried so hard, spending countless hours, thousands of years worth of time, creating content and finding the perfect formula in order to make a healthy living and also not need to leave my house.
You'll probably go to a dog park and meet other dog people. I could see this working.
Yeah, but only if you're a dog person. Like, literally every cat person in the world is gonna spit on you.
Just please, for the love of God, do not become a doggo mom. The amount of times I'm walking through the city and I see a stroller and a fucking dog is in it. Just do not-
Anything but that. Dude, do not dress your dogs. If you dress your dogs, you will never, ever, 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 ever find a husband/wife. I am just saying, do not dress your dogs, please, please. Unless you want to date someone who dresses their dogs, and those people are fucking crazy. So since you do not want to marry someone fucking crazy, don't dress your dogs, because you'll end up with someone that likes dressed dogs. Don't dress them. Dogs are meant to be naked, created by God as naked creatures.
not treat your dog like a surrogate child, please. I want to go on vacations and enjoy life. That's why I don't want kids. I have dogs anyway. What's up? Somebody please watch Mr. Poopsie while I'm gone. He has separation anxiety. Have your car break down at strategic places.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Dude, I was actually looking into this lately. There has been a recent rise of advice for, what's the word? Weaponized incompetence. That's the word. There is an entire new meta that's been going on lately on the internet called weaponized incompetence. It's when your wife says to you, "Hey, honey, can you wash the dishes?" And you're like, "Sure, baby." And then you start washing the dishes, and oopsie, you break a plate. And she's like, "No, I'll do the dishes now, because you are such a klutz." Oh, I am a klutz. Ladies and gentlemen, weaponized incompetence. Weaponized incompetence is a scam. It is the crypto scam of relationships.
Oh no, my brake suddenly stopped working in front of the Bass Pro Shop. Oh no, not right next to the tall rich man convention. Attend tonight.
Damn, crazy. Unfortunately, I am fucking terrible at cars. I mean, I just got a new car, and it's awesome. Felt like using that moment to flex. However, I'm not terrible at them. That's why I devote all my time to making enough money to be able to pay people to fix my cars. Literally so smart. Literally ingenious.
High school. Take courses men like. If you want to sign up for ancient Roman history class, be my guest. I personally would not go back to school for a man.
No, absolutely not. Why would you do that? That's pathetic. Especially because school is like 50% scam these days.
No man is worth that. I still have nightmares about being in school. Why am I having dreams about math homework at 33 years old? Look at the census reports for places with the most single men. Nevada has 125 females for every 100 people.
25 males. But what the frick?
Ladies, if you want to meet a man, simply hang out in the Shoe on Head fan base. The
True, 93% men in her fan base. Listen, if you want to meet a man, definitely go to Shoe on Head's fan base, because my fan base, we have 13% women here, so your statistics are much, much worse. Definitely subscribe to Shoe on Head, because you see, over there the statistics are way better, right? In my audience, it's 8 men to every 1 woman. However, in Shoe on Head's community, basically 15 women, 15 men to every woman. So that's kind of sick.
ratio of men and women here is insane. We got all types of men here. We got the furries, we got the weebs, the libertarians, the conservatives, the liberals,
The Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
Listen, say what you want about Trump. That man was hilarious. Was he a disgusting pig of a human being? Probably. But was he funny as shit? Yes, he was.
Read the obituaries to find eligible widowers. What the?
What? No shot that's in there. Brother.
Showing up to a funeral like, hey,
So sorry for your loss. Anyway, want to get laid?
sorry about your wife. What'd that dick do, though? So I'm actually
Nice. Didn't rewatch.
getting these from an article written in 2018 about the advice from the 1950s. And the journalist, Bella DiPaolo, is constantly writing her own commentary.
She has a PhD. She's using her... Bro, Bella DiPaolo is using her PhD to review 129 dating advice tips for women in 1958. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what school gets you. Do you know how hard it is to get a PhD? It is so hard to get a PhD. My friend Animac from Anime Uproar, YouTube channel with like 2 million subscribers, he makes videos about One Piece and My Hero Academia every week, okay? He has a PhD, and he makes money by talking about shonen anime every week, okay? I'm just saying.
Bella DiPaolo is
Oh yeah, you should go to school and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a PhD in fucking bullshit.
constantly writing her own commentary after like almost every single one of these things.
I love how she's making fun of DePaulo for doing that. Literally, she is doing the exact same thing. She is also adding commentary to all of these things. You are doing exactly what she is doing.
Like, look, ready? This one is like, get a job in a medical, dental, or law school.
Get a job in a position where there are rich men that have a job in the same place as you.
And she writes, become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer. You are a badass, so you don't need to marry one.
Wait, what? Her notes on the marriage tips are, you don't really need to get married, girl. Be like Katara from the Netflix Avatar and be your own master.
And the next advice from the 50s is, become a nurse or airline stewardess. They have very high marriage rates. And she's like, no, become a person who thinks for herself. They have very high rates of living.
Just shitting on stewardesses and nurses. If you're a nurse, you don't think for yourself, probably.
The life that works for them. So become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer is good advice because strong, independent woman jobs or something. But become a nurse or airline stewardess is bad advice because
You don't think for yourself. Yeah, this is what feminism is all about. Taking opportunities away from women. Take it back. Don't cancel me, I promise. Listen, I'm on a roll. I'm watching Shoe on Head videos, and in my defense, I thought the boss called her a Nazi or something. So like, I'm getting brainwashed. I'm getting radicalized. That's the word that everyone likes using. Shoe on Head is radicalizing me. It's all her fault. I am part of the 93% males in her audience now.
why exactly? Like, I'm sorry, is that not a little sexist?
Oh shit, she's going down the same route as me. No! I didn't pre-watch, I swear. I swear I didn't pre-watch. I didn't pre-watch.
Why is she looking down on being a nurse or an airline worker? The advice some women give to other women is like incredible. It's always just like constant affirmation, constant coddle.
That's not exactly affirmation. It's like someone that's... Listen, if someone wants to be a stay-at-home mom, honestly, all power to them, because that's the decision they make. The point is for them to have the ability to choose something else. But once they have all the ability to make the choice, if they end up choosing to be a stay-at-home mom, honestly, hell yeah. Do whatever the hell you want, woman. That's the point of being able to choose. The fact that you can actually choose and not be forced into just a different box. Being forced into the box of stay-at-home mom versus being forced into the box of a doctor is the same exact thing. It's forcing people into a box and removing their choice. Ultimately, you should just give them the choice to do whatever they want and respect them for the choices given. I'm just saying.
Constant, like, you're doing nothing wrong, sweetie. And then male advice is like, your whole family's gonna die if you don't go to the gym right now. Be nice.
True, that's the only time you leave the house, to work out. If you're not working out, bro, your home is your castle.
To everybody. They may have an eligible brother or son.
What the fuck?
You shouldn't.
Honestly, you should be nice to everybody just because you should be nice to everybody. Like, being nice is literally free. This is advice that I definitely keep all the time. That's why I'm so nice. I've never gotten into any form of controversy or drama through my history on YouTube, and it's purely because of following this advice about being nice to everybody. It's worked out so well for me, and you should all definitely do that too.
You can only be being nice to people in order to possibly get laid. Just be nice to everyone in general.
Yeah.
Being nice is
You can't say pre-watch. That's just like the most obvious basic advice in the universe, okay?
like the bare minimum. And what's sad is some people can't even
Why is your cup of tea still full? Like, honest to God, woman, drink your tea.
do that. The bar is in hell. And yet.
Listen, Shoe on Head, between me and you, you don't need to acknowledge that I'm reacting to your videos or anything like that. But in your next video, make a point
My
at
day has
drinking
been alright.
the tea.
I just
And
got
when
off
you
of work
drink
a couple
the tea,
hours
just
ago.
Sip, wink at the camera when you drink the tea. Just like to get across the fact that you are hearing this constructive criticism from a wholesome OCD person. Why the hell is Evanito in my chat? Why are you on Kick? Get out of here. This is an Evanito free zone.
And what's sad is some people can't even do that. The bar is in hell. And yet. Get a government job overseas. Okay, I'm sorry. No man is worth becoming a Fed. Do not become a federal agent for some dick. Be friendly to ugly men.
God
Again,
damn
just be
it.
nice to everyone in general. Lowering your standards if they're very high or unrealistic is a good thing, but don't lower them too much. If you
I have a Discord, but I hardly ever go on it.
I think that you keep your standards.
I think I've only been on it
goddamn
like twice.
Make yourself work hard enough to deserve the standards that you set. I think that's a much stronger mindset. No, but honestly, Evan, thanks for popping in here. I'm honestly really honored that you made a Kick account just to come here to watch me probably react to furry stuff, because I don't know why else you would be here, but really, thank you. It's good to see you. I miss you, homie.
If you're not attracted to someone, you should not be dating them. And don't get with the first person who's nice to you or shows you attention.
Very true. Very real. God, people make this mistake.
The amount
I know someone personally that made this mistake. Literally dates someone for the first time. It's like, holy shit, she's nice to me. I'll
My
be nice to
microphone
her.
not working?
And she dated him for the first time and was like, holy shit, he's nice.
Hang on, hang
I'm
on.
nice to him too. And they were nice to each other. They ended up getting married and holy
Why my
moly,
microphone's
no,
not working?
No.
of men and women who like jump into relationships just because they're sad and lonely is way too high. It's almost always a recipe for disaster. Don't date someone who you
Alright.
think is ugly,
It's,
but like
I don't know.
if he's not over 6 feet or doesn't have
It's
the
probably
perfect
on your
body,
end. My soundboard
Yeah.
looks fine.
give him a chance.
It's turned all
You're
the way
not
up.
perfect either, girl. But if you think he's straight
I
up
should be
ugly,
almost too
different
loud.
story. So yes, be nice to everyone, including ugly people.
Because they might have brothers that you could fuck. I'm just saying. That's worth keeping in mind.
But don't date someone you think is ugly.
Tell your friends that you are interested in getting married. Don't keep it a secret.
Oh, we have another author's note. Tell your friends you have no-
Oh my god, I was about to say this is like the first piece of decent advice. Don't keep it a secret is actually sick advice. You want to get into a relationship where both you and your partner know what the future
Like
might
I
hold.
said, I don't
Like,
really
was
go
about to
on
say, damn,
Discord.
first piece of advice. And then of course, author's note.
no interest whatsoever in getting married.
Yes, the opposite of course. Yes, tell them that.
Don't keep it a secret. Tell your mother, tell all your other relatives, tell all the random people you meet on the street. Declare it on social media. Bro, this is why we are here now, by the way. People like this
I
in
can actually turn that
2018
down a little.
telling young women to not even try and just be a strong, independent girl boss. These are the fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar cock-blocking you.
Real. What Shoe on Head really means to say is that this is how women should be treated.
Chained up and turned into breeding.
There we go. It finally fit. It worked. It only took 20 minutes to get there.
Get lost at football games. Alright, if I'm at a
What? What is that advice?
football game, I'm already lost. Don't
True base. Sports? No thank you. No thank you, sports.
Don't take a job in a company run.
You can quote anyone out of context and make them sound like an idiot. Yes, Twitter's been doing that to me for years. I know.
Largely by women.
You would never hear this in modern dating advice. This is like blasphemous. I like the author's note to run a company.
Get a job demonstrating you can tackle a sporting goods store.
See? Bass Pro Shop. I'm telling you. The last respectable institution in America.
On a
Listen, I'm just saying, there is one beautiful thing about dating.
Just
The
X.
only noble job left in humanity because no one figured out how to own the fucking ocean yet.
plane, train, or bus, don't sit next to a woman. Sit next to a man.
Author's
It's like actually have more men around you when you want to date men. Wow, crazy.
note, spread out all your stuff on the seat next to you and maybe you will get to have the whole row to yourself.
Why would this lady with the PhD even write her goddamn commentary on this? Like, what is the point of this commentary? Like, imagine something comes out 129 dating tips for men, and she shows up. Literally, probably got absolutely fucking sucked by some cringe boyfriend that cheated on her, that made her really miserable with herself and her own life. Decides to come out here and just write literally the worst advice in the world. Advice to make women be alone forever.
The contrast between the like wholesome goofy shit from the 1950s and this like bitter modern asocial shit is so funny.
Go to all reunions of your high school or college class. There may be widowers there.
God, maybe there are single people. Why would you aim for the widowers when there could just be people that have never been married before? Why aim for the widowers?
What is up with this like predatory advice? Why widower? Be a rebound for a man whose wife fucking died. Also, I just realized I missed my 10-year high school reunion. Oh well. I don't think anyone would recognize me anyway. I'd have to like wear an Invader Zim shirt and like trip pants.
Don't be afraid to
Bang!
associate with more attractive
Holy shit, I missed my 10-year high school reunion. Oh my god, no way!
girls. they may have some leftovers.
What are you doing here? What do you mean? I'm here for the scraps.
Don't room with a girl who's a sad sack and let her pull you down to her level. I mean, this is
Don't be around whiny bitches that no one wants to be around. Damn, that's crazy.
Pretty good, like, standard advice. Don't surround yourself
With miserable, negative, lonely people. I mean, I guess.
negative, miserable people. Like this journalist who will just try to drag you down to her level and attempt to sabotage your dating life. Learn to paint. Set up easel outside engineering.
Why are all these advice? It's like, have some form of cringe esoteric hobby that gives you an excuse to be in front of places where rich men might be, so you can woo them with your feminine wiles.
The author's note. If you like to paint, set up your easel where nobody will bother you. Spread your stuff out so nobody will sit next to you. Set your easel up where nobody will bother you.
Misery loves company. She's alone and miserable, and she wants everyone else to be alone and miserable, so she can feel like she is not the only alone, miserable person. That is her way of trying to find out that she is not lonely. Literally, that is how she's trying to avoid loneliness, by having other people miserable, just like her.
They want you to die alone.
stumble when you walk into a room that he's in. Carry a hat box.
What? Do we put a hat in the box? What do we put in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Wear a band-aid. People always have this happen.
No they won't. This was absolutely written in the 1950s where people used to talk to each other.
Make a lot of money.
Damn. Why didn't I think of that? What great advice. Don't be poor. Dropping the handkerchief still works. God, everything seems so wholesome and...
Back in the day, the good old days, where it was so easy and simple, where it was such a fun time, men and women were allowed to talk to each other.
Simple back then. Drop a handkerchief. That's all it took. Hell, like, even my mom, what she did to get my dad's attention, she just, like, rode her bike back and forth in front of his house. Like, that's so adorable and wholesome. Want to know how me and my husband met? He trolled me on Twitter.
No! Oh my god, there's no way. Audible gag. There's no shot.
Hello.
That's old school love right there. That's how they used to do it in the 1930s for sure, for real. That is somehow not only incredibly weird and messed up, but also incredibly adorable. Like, I don't even know how to start. That is the ultimate move. Bro was in the 7%, no, the 93% and won. He was the sperm that swam fastest. Holy crap. So basically, the lesson here is go troll people you like on Twitter? No, but oh my god, that's crazy. Jeebus, Fleebus, man is a legend. Bro had the Twitter rage riz. Oh my god, started as a hater, ended as a husband. This is the biggest reveal of the entire video. Love has found a way. I have nothing but respect for Shuahead's husband. Shuahead, if you're watching this reaction, I would love to collab with your husband, please. That sounds so weird. No, but oh my god, that's incredible. Oh my god, I'm actually so impressed.
He was a hater on Twitter.com.
Oh my god, he was a hater! Ah! Listen, I'm a Twitter troll as well, so I respect it incredibly much. This is insane. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. He was a hater too? That is the most base thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh my god, it fits so well. And now her entire content is just making fun of the people that are quote retweets on Twitter. I can't believe it.
Corner and cry softly. Chances are good that he'll come over to find out what's wrong.
No, chances are people will whip out their cell phone and start filming you, and then you go viral. Crazy Karen cries in corner. But
Yeah, that's why that was a 1958 freaking letter. This is before TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Nuts and
Well, hey, you should have got here earlier when the Blood Moon started.
Sometimes you just need that Twitter rage rig.
Buying a convertible. Men like to ride in them.
What the fuck is life?
Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Bring one into the office and let the eligible bachelors taste it.
honestly,
I mean, I guess. Bake for people, it works.
this is pretty good advice. I think it's working. But like, people are so weird about people like dating at work nowadays, that used to be like the #1 place people would meet their spouse. And now it's like saying Susan looks nice today is sexual harassment. I like the author's note here. Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Eat them. Don't do anything for a man ever. Do everything for yourself.
And it'll work. That's why she's so happy and married with 7 children right now. That's that lady.
Wow, thanks, Journo. You helped so much. Female loneliness cured. Laugh at his
I know that, like, I'm all for growth, but I have to say, I think the most powerful thing in every relationship is honesty. I think it's the #1 core of how everything needs to rely on, okay? You need to be as goddamn honest as possible with your partner. And laughing at jokes that aren't funny is technically not super honest. However, God, it fucking works. God, it's so good. It works so well. Listen, it's not dishonesty. It's exaggerating. It's expressing your appreciation for the person through laughter at a joke that wasn't necessarily funny. Okay, I'm just saying.
Laugh at his jokes if they are funny. Attractive people make the terrible mistake of assuming that they are funny because simps and simpettes will laugh at any joke they say.
I don't usually go on
No matter if
Discord.
it's funny or not. You are not funny. People just want to you. Know the difference. Accidentally have your purse fly open, scattering its contents all over the street.
Bro, dude, I hate this is more weaponized incompetence. Bro, it is not good.
Oh no, I dropped my monster tampon that I use for my magnum pussy.
Wow!
Wear high heels most of the time. They're sexier. Journo knows.
Journo knows. Wear what makes you feel like you want to wear when you're yourself. Don't wear anything that you wear to be sexy because men want you to be sexy. Yes, I view her as an Eldritchian being at this point. She has lost the status of humanity in my mind.
Become my favorite thing. Wear shoes with no heels. They are way more comfortable. Or don't wear shoes at all.
What the fuck advice is this? Wear shoes. Wear shoes. Even if you don't want to date anyone, wear shoes. Also, I know that this is like, this is something that I have come to learn through my ages and my experience in life with personal things that I don't talk about online due to the protection of the people that I love and care about, okay? However, I have come to learn that a lot of people dress sexily, not for other people, but actually because they want to look beautiful in their own eyes. And they actually are proud of how they look. And they like looking pretty for themselves. I think that's super based. Like, what the frick? Dude, she has a PhD in crying over an ice cream bucket. Like, what the actual hell, bro?
Okay, terrible advice. Wear shoes. You don't want to attract the foot guys.
You know what? Shit, I didn't even think about the foot guys. She is so right. Oh my god. Bro, this is why we need a female perspective of this. I wouldn't have even considered the foot people. But my god, she did. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute Goliath of intellect in our era.
To me. I know some of them are in this comment section right now as we speak. Horrifying. But yeah, heels are attractive. Heels are pretty. They make your ass look good. They make your legs look good. I don't see how this is bad advice. Unless he happens to be shorter than you are. Oof. The manlet's catching...
Oh my god, PhD lady gonna go crazy. No, let him revel in his shrimpiness. Make him feel short. That's the only time where you wear heels.
Strays, even back in 1958. Tell him he's handsome. Journo note, let's go! Talk to someone who is less needy and insecure. This bitch doesn't even want you...
Oh my god, you're not allowed to compliment someone you're dating according to modern day Twitter idiots and PhDs and probably something irrelevant? That's insane.
Complimenting men that you are interested in. Also, ladies, pro tip, if you want him to just melt
Yeah,
in your
never...
She did not take one
What is off with these people that always want me to go
Can't do that,
off-site?
but next time you're like walking with him or
They're so
something,
fucking
just be
annoying.
like, I feel very protected when I'm with you. He will be locked the fuck in. I don't see the
Dishonesty. Don't say that to people. Actually give sincere compliments. Why is everything a game? Why is it this weird cat and mouse game? You know how much harder sincere compliments hit? Bro, I'm telling you, it's so much more powerful than any of this random playbook bullshit. Bro, the first time someone tells you they love you and they mean it, it's so fucking powerful. It's so fucking strong. If they were just be saying, oh, I love you, you're pretty, you're sexy, oh, you're so nice, all the time, bro, dude, it's worthless. It's meaningless lip fodder, okay? And it is not something that will matter. In fact, if anything, that
Just tell them I don't do Discord.
Will invalidate future genuine compliments because you're used to the spew of bullshit.
The fault in like complimenting a man or a woman that you were attracted to, that you were trying to date. Why does that make them insecure or needy?
Take good care of your health. Men don't like girls who are ill.
Don't get cancer. Damn, that's a good tip for getting guys.
Get a sunburn. Go on a diet if you need to.
Oh God, no! No!
You would never, ever see this advice today. What's crazy is like in the early 2000s, very, very skinny was the look. Like I remember being a kid and seeing things about how like fat Britney Spears is when she looked like this. And now we've gone completely 180 where it's like health and fitness be damned. Lizzo is a queen. Like, can we just be normal about this? Why is there no middle?
I love how she's saying this, like, I've just noticed this thing that's been happening on the internet somehow, like this fat acceptance movement that it's just come out of nowhere. It's come out of nowhere. Bro, I'm very excited for her next video. The rise of fat people loneliness. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild.
Middle ground.
Are fat people okay? Questions by Shoe on Head in 2026.
Between like having an eating disorder
Oh Lord.
and
eating the person that had the eating disorder.
having an eating disorder.
Oh shit.
When you are with him, order your steak rare.
Absolutely not. I eat my steaks well done.
Oh! That's why her name is Shoe on Head, because she likes her steak to taste like shoe leather.
Not even well done. I eat that shit. Congratulations.
Don't tell him about your allergies. Don't be too
Don't tell him about your allergies. What the fuck is that advice?
fussy. Don't whine. Girls
Don't whine! Listen, women, if you want to get a man, don't nag, don't whine. Don't do those women things.
who whine stay on the vine.
Girls who whine stay on the vine. Okay, what the fuck?
Double date with a gay, happily married couple. Let him see what it's like.
Huh? This was written in 1958. Where did this come from?
This has such a different meaning today.
Oh! Alright. Oh! Because gay meant happy in the 1950s. So, like, double date with a gay, happily married couple because they were happy. Oh. I was like, this seems like interesting advice. It's like, always double date with gay people because then they'll be like, gay people are happy. We could be happy.
Double date with a gay couple. Let him see what it's like. Be flexible.
Yeah.
If he just
Let him see what it's like when you invite another penis into the bedroom. Don't let him be surprised.
Decides to skip the dance and go rowing on the lake, go. Even if you're wearing your best evening gown.
journo note. Tell him that's fine, but he has to wear the evening gown and the heels.
What is wrong with this lady? This lady has such a miserable life, and they're taking it out of everyone that's trying to actually find love in today. What the frick? This is someone with a PhD. Just goes to show how actually useful this degree is. Like, imagine going
Oh, fuck.
Hello? Force feminize your date. 129 ways to get a boy wife. Turn wolf.
Yes, the femboy cult is getting stronger.
The husband material by assuming they have honor.
Okay, I'm so fucking brain broken. I'm such a degenerate that like when I read this, I immediately thought of like Legoshi the wolf from Beastars. Like, oh, he.
There's a lot of good shit in that box.
Oh wait, how old is he? Hold on. Oh god. Oh god. Oh
High school. No!
god. Wait, he's 17. Wait.
Resist the urge to make him over. Before marriage, that is.
So basically, trap him and then mold him.
What?
him into your perfect mate.
Based. Save the evil, manipulative, conniving situations for later.
Okay. I swear this advice is getting more insane the further we go.
Listen, they had to fill out to that 129. This isn't BuzzFeed, where they only need to get 6 things, right? 6 crazy characters that Naruto would be able to kill in a thumb wrestle. Number 4 will shock you. All right, that was only 6 things. Bro, in the 1950s, bro, they needed 129 things. She could fix you.
The lobotomy is kicking in. Remain innocent, but not ignorant. If he's rich, tell him you like his money. The honesty will intrigue him.
True. Honesty is the best policy, honestly.
Will it? Honestly, maybe. If he doesn't mind marrying...
Honestly. Here's the thing. I think that people that are known as the very, very rich guy that's always getting, you know, women are hitting on him because of his money. And they're like, oh my god, I'm not hitting on you because of your money. I'm hitting on you because you're so handsome, because you're such a nice man, because you have such beautiful eyes. And he knows that it's about the money. That's gonna rub him the wrong way. If someone says, listen, you seem like a nice guy, but the truth is I'm really here for the money. Yeah, that will intrigue him. We'll be like, wow, honesty? Nani?
Being a gold digger, I guess. But if it's just like a dude looking for love, and you're just like, I like your money, it's over. You fucked it up.
No, it's not saying it like that. It's like acknowledging that it's there. It's not being this whole, I love you for everything. I don't really care about your money at all. I'm here because you have such beautiful eyes that I can just swim in. Right, dude? If someone's gonna say that.
Never let him believe your career is more important to you than marriage. Clip and mail him a funny cartoon that means something to the both of you.
Aw, that's
Literally the 1950s version of sending a meme.
Yo, true.
Stop being a mama's girl. Don't let him think he'll have in-law trouble, even if you know he will.
Mom is a massive bitch that will torture his soul. Make believe you don't like her.
Journo note. Guess who never has in-law trouble? People who stay single.
What are the point of these notes? You're literally on things that are tips for people to actually get married. Someone is reading up on this because I want to get married, and then you have this journo with literally history's most useless device.
What other articles has this woman written? Let's look this up.
Oh,
The real
I
sex
was actually about to get there.
lives of middle-aged single women. A world without marriage. The unsung joy of living alone.
Sounds like it's a philosophy thing at this point.
The
Lady is huffing that copium.
thrill of going to holiday parties alone.
Really?
Why being in a long-term relationship may make women more depressed. There are more single people than ever. That's not a bad thing. The profound rewards of staying single.
Oh my God.
I'm done. This is sad.
This is so sad. How someone is gonna see those 50 articles and be like, wow, she is probably a very well-adjusted single woman and very happy that she's single. No one will think that. You are fooling no one, woman.
With waste.
sadder than Anita Sarkeesian having a wedding-themed birthday party and marrying herself.
There's no way that happened, right? Like that can't possibly have been a thing that happened, right? Right? Like that didn't happen. Not Nani? I did not get married. I had a wedding-themed birthday in Stockholm this summer. It was goofy and silly and fun. We had a bachelor party, Russo dinner, reception, all the people dressed up in the best costumes, surprise, of course, lawyer, drunk, a ring bear. She did not have a marry herself birthday party. Oh my god. That's pathetic.
You're gonna look at this and tell me there's no female loneliness epidemic? Really? Point out to him that the death rate of single men is twice that of married men.
Oh shit. Oh, just listen, if all else fails, if honesty isn't gonna work, if the compliments aren't gonna work, if just being around him isn't gonna work, sex appeal's not gonna work, just be like, listen, chances your mortality rate gets cut in half if we're married. I'm just saying.
Marry me or you'll die an early death. If your mother is fat, tell him to take after your father. If he's fat too, tell him you're adopted. It was a different time. Stow away on a battleship.
Okay.
Rent a billboard
I really needed to fill out that 129.
and post your picture and telephone number on it. Oh my god.
That is like a Barney Stinson level pathetic ruin.
Do not do this.
Self-dox yourself.
Sink at a fashionable beach at high noon.
Sink. Try to drown yourself. If he saves you, he's the one. If he doesn't save you, well, you were lonely anyway. Better you're gone.
Make and sell toupees. Bald men are easy catches.
Oh my god, he can start punching his fist into the air right now. My god.
Don't marry him. Too many Follow around your hot friends for scraps.
Honestly, the biggest lesson I got here was, holy shit, Twitter trolls can find love.
Get a sunburn and carry around hot friends. Wow, this will surely solve female loneliness.
God,
Oh, but for real, some of this advice was actually much better than like any modern dating advice I've seen. Like at least some of this
Honestly,
advice was
scary.
go the f outside and talk to men, as opposed
Listen, talking to men has nothing to do with actually getting into relationships. This is propaganda being spread by the shadow government to convince you that it's important.
to don't talk to him, like let him think you, look him in the eyes. Also, men, I'm curious, which one of these would actually work on you? Would you go over to a woman?
100% the Twitter troll one. I know that was yours, not in the 129, but goddamn.
I was crying and asked what's wrong with the hat box to do the stream. I'm curious. By the way, the link to the whole list will be in the description. I would love to see your own takes on this list, like your reactions, your own video responses.
Hey, oh, hey.
This list. I've been seeing a lot of VTubers responding
No.
to my videos.
Oops. Now jump scare. It happens. Listen, we've all been there.
Lately. So if one of you anime freaks are reacting
That's me.
to this right now, I see you. So that was
Let's
that
go.
video.
Next time, Shoe on Head, drink the tea. Just take a sip and wink.
I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I've stolen like what, 20-something minutes from your life that you will never get back.
A lot more than that because of my riveting commentary.
But if you did like it, please consider donating to my Patreon, a link down below. We're gonna start doing movie nights together, and I would love to see you there. And I will see you next time with a new video.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was a great video, honestly. Dude, I really like your videos a lot. Bro, she flipped the table on me. She flipped the table. Ah, the nugs jumped there right at the end. Listen, that was horrifying. Shoe on Head, so honestly, if you ever want to collab or come on our podcast or anything, you seem like a genuinely amazing content creator. I really love your content. I've been binging it the last few weeks and it's been a lot of fun. Please keep up the good work, and everyone definitely check her out. She does good stuff, riveting commentary, and fixing the broken parts of society. Well, I don't think she actually makes a difference, but then again, I don't really think. So, hell yeah! Thank you all for being here, and wonderful evening.
This video was made possible by Honey. Keep watching to find out how you can save money when you shop online. Also, the reviews are in. That's some nice merch. Get your brand new character pin, limited time face mask, and more. Link down below. Blah. Sigmund, I don't have much longer. Tell me, was I a good king? You were okay. Will I be remembered as the great warrior king who invaded France, revolutionized English healthcare, and developed great parklands? Probably not. Because of the wife killings. Blah. Blah. Sigmund, how did I get here? I still remember the good old days when I was a boy. Okay, Henry, this is a horse. Can you say horse? Oh. Okay, let's try this one. Can you say loaf of bread? Loaf with her head. No, Henry, that's wrong. Can you say soap? Yes, that's it. I'm the supreme head of the church. Screw the Pope! You know what? You're my son and I love you, but you're freaking weird, man. The year is 1491. England has just come out of 3 decades of civil war, in which a bunch of Henrys, Edwards, and one Richard had a little ding-dong over which royal house should rule the realm. Finally, a Henry won, Henry VII, and he had a son. What should we name him? My royal lineage is full of Henrys. A fine name, a vigorous name, a tenacious name, a muscular name. How about Arthur? And so Arthur, Prince of Wales and next in line to the throne, was born. 5 years later, Prince Henry was born. but nobody cares about him. He's not the heir, just a spare. The king wanted to make an alliance with Spain, so one day he said to his son Arthur, "Hey, baby, you see that lady baby? That's gonna be your wife. But father, I'm not even 3 years old yet. Listen, there's something you have to understand. You're my son. But more than that, you're a political bargaining tool. But you love me, right? I love you as a political bargaining tool. Yay. Hey, Pop, who the heck are you? I've written you a poem. Listen here, tiny man. Can't you see that I'm busy? But I'm your son. I have another son? As Arthur was in another palace, being prepped to become king, Henry lived with his mother and 2 sisters at Eltham, where he was being trained for a church career. And not just that, Henry learnt languages. He played sports. He learnt the recorder. What a nerd. Am I right? Wrong. Henry was the coolest kid around. So I told my Latin teacher he could kissius my buddius. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Great scholars and theologians from across Europe came to meet and teach the young Prince Henry, who by all accounts was a very enlightened, bright and charming man. Everybody loved Henry. And out of everything Henry was taught, more than anything, he came to adore and respect theology and Catholicism. One of Henry's tutors was English poet laureate John Skelton, who wrote a textbook for Henry that we still have today. Important lessons for the young prince, such as do not be mean, loathe gluttony, and do not violate widows. Important lessons for any 9-year-old boy. Around this time, Henry's older brother Arthur, now 15 years old, was married to Catherine of Aragon, sealing the union between England and Spain. And then he died. Oh, my alliance with Spain, my poor, poor alliance with Spain. And your son, sire? Oh, yes, of course, my son. My alliance with Spain. Ah. Heck are you? Oh, yeah! And just like that, an unprepared Prince Henry was now the new heir to the throne. And how about that alliance with Spain? Well, the solution was simple. Hey, boy, see that full-grown woman over there? That's gonna be your wife. What, my brother's widow? Yes. You're a freaking weirdo, man. Now, in the Bible, there's a verse that says marrying your brother's widow, that's a big no-no. So the king needed to convince the Pope and get his special permission. Hey, can I please have my son marry his brother's widow? Sure, why not? And so it was. Henry's life was turned on its head as he was moved to the royal court, next in line to the throne. But tragedy struck when just a few months later, his mother, with whom he was very close, suddenly died in childbirth. The loss of his mother almost certainly had a big effect on the young boy. In his older years, King Henry VII went on a bit of a paranoid trip. As was normal for a king at the time, Henry VII had to quell a number of rebellions, and as he aged, he became ever more suspicious of the nobility around him. To keep them in check, he began levying huge, ruinous fines, left, right, and center. Dukes, bishops, barons, even his own mother. Nobody was safe from his tyranny, and the nobility of England began to suffer. So when Henry VII finally got sick and died just after Christmas 1508, there was a lot of celebration. Not only because the tyrannical Henry VII was gone, but because his replacement was the ever-popular, charming, and handsome 18-year-old King Henry VIII. Henry married Catherine of Aragon in June 1509.
Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't that damn bad after all.
Since he's now king, couldn't Henry just decide not to? Well, yes, he could, but by now, Henry wanted to. The thing about Henry that was unlike many kings of the time was he married for love, and he had grown quite.
I don't like you. You better not fuck this up, or I'll cut your goddamn throat.
Good. And so he was coronated king, and what a king! Compared to his tyrannical father, he was an absolute joy. Having the blood of 2 royal houses, he was widely supported. He was really, really ridiculously good looking, and those famous cats could achieve. Hey Henry, now that you're king, you know what that means. Costume party! Henry pranced around the palace playing dress up with his friends. He wrote plays. He sang songs. He danced. A true Renaissance man, very different from the gluttonous wife killer we think of today. In his early reign, people from near and far would come to ask favors of the generous king. Hey man, could I gain ownership of some land near Upton Snodsbury? Sure thing, pal. Hey, could I be an earl or a baron or a viscount or something? Anything you want, man. Could I get, just a really cool pig that has, metal wings and 8 legs and shoots flippin' lasers and it can grow more pigs out of it for extra pigs? Say no more. Hey, guys, I was just checking up on the financial report and what the hell? We can't afford this. Henry's council that he inherited from his father weren't happy with all the money he was just throwing around, and they worked hard to curb the king's spending. Since they controlled the royal seals needed to get stuff done, at first they were largely able to control the young king. And for Henry, the most infuriating things of all was they wouldn't let him joust with his friends because it was too dangerous, nor would they let him do the thing he wanted most, to go on a great, glorious, and expensive conquest against England's historic enemy, France. Please guys, I'll keep it cheap. How? I'm glad you asked. I've got a promo code for the financial burden of war? Yes. Honey is the free browser extension that automatically finds promo codes when you shop online. Imagine you're on one of your favorite websites. Not that one. And you want to reinvent yourself with some fresh new threads. Oh, hi, little dancing man. Got any sick promo codes for me? You do? Nice. You just saved $40 on your online shop. You rock so. Honey supports over 30,000 online stores and has already helped Oversimplified viewers save over $87,000. That's a lot of money. Not having Honey is literally saying no to free money like a crazy person. It's free, finds coupons with one click, and it's now part of the Venmo and PayPal family. So you know it's legit. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/oversimplified. That's joinhoney.com/oversimplified. And you'll also be supporting my channel. So thank you. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, sexy cab, excessive spending, and war with France. Henry wanted glory. He wanted to go down in history. If he didn't go to war in France, was he even the King of England? Man, I want to go to war so bad, but the council won't let me. Hey, maybe I can help with that. Whoa, it's Cardinal Wolsey, one of my best friends despite being an old-ass man. Cardinal Wolsey knew that if he helped King Henry, there'd likely be something in it for him. So what was his great, intricate plan to curb the council's power? You're the king, dum-dum. You can do whatever you want. What? Wolsey began writing bills that simply didn't require the seals, and thus Henry was back on top. For his efforts, Wolsey began to climb the ranks, and he became something of a yes-man for King Henry, encouraging Henry to frolic and play while Wolsey took care of business. Hey, kid, you want to go on an adventure? Do I ever? The Pope was at war with France and he needed some help. He offered the young, impressionable King Henry 100 Parmesan cheeses, some wine, and a golden rose if he came to the Pope's aid, and Henry was all in. At this point in his life, he still respected the church and loved the Pope. And here was the chance for war he had been waiting for. He still didn't have an heir, a fairly big problem for a monarch at the time. But right now, the only kind of smashing he was interested in was smashing French guys in the face. And so off he went. The English already held the French city of Calais. From there, Henry made a glorious victory at the Battle of the Spurs. He took the French cities of Terouanne and Tournai. Word of his victory spread. This was it. Here was the glory he had been waiting for. Back home, his beautiful wife also led armies to victory in Scotland. And better yet, she was pregnant. Soon, Henry would have an heir. All of Henry's wildest dreams were coming true. Oh, he ran out of money. As the French prepared to invade Italy, all Henry could do was go home. Well, at least now I have an heir to cheer me up. Bring me my son. Henry, this is Mary. Mary? That's a funny name for a boy. Henry, it's a girl. This was Catherine's 5th pregnancy that had not resulted in a male heir. Happy Henry wasn't so happy anymore. You still haven't given me a male heir. Well, how do you know it's my problem? Maybe it's your problem, Henry. It couldn't be my problem because I've been boinking half your maidstaff and one of them gave me a sure, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's my problem. I'll look into it. Cardinal Wolsey, now Henry's Lord Chancellor, knew his job depended on keeping Henry happy, and so he said, well, if you can't be the great warrior, then how about the great peacemaker? Not as cool, but okay. And so the Field of the Cloth of Gold, a glamorous peace summit between England and France, was held. The King of France, Francis I, was essentially the French version of King Henry, and the whole thing was basically one giant codpiece measuring contest. The two sides did agree to a peace treaty. However, it didn't last long. You see, there was a third major player in European politics at the time, an exquisite specimen of royal inbreeding, an heir to a huge inheritance, and a chin that could hit a home run. Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. He was Henry's wife's nephew. Henry had helped him out in the past to put down a Spanish rebellion, and now the two wanted to make an alliance, and so a marriage was arranged. Mary, I'd like to introduce you to your 22-year-old fully grown adult cousin, and now your future husband. Ew, he looks inbred. Mary! We're all inbred. With their new alliance, Charles and Henry agreed to team up and relaunch a campaign against France. In 1522, the English landed and stormed as far south as Agincourt, but Charles didn't commit to the forces. Whoops, sorry man, not sure what happened. I'll join you next year. The next year, England swept northern France, almost taking Paris. But once again, where was Charles? Oh man, I'm so sorry. I promise, next year, I'll be there. The next year came, and a fed-up Henry decided he was gonna sit this one out. And just as Charles ravaged the French at the Battle of Pavia and captured the French king. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, I totally kicked France's butt. That's great. So, can I have the French throne like we agreed? No. What? And also, I don't want to marry your ugly daughter anymore. Ugly? Have you seen your chin? Mummy says it's a strong chin for a strong boy. As Henry's alliance with Charles fell apart, Henry knew his days as a warrior were over. This was a problem for him, but it was a bigger problem for his wife. Catherine of Aragon had two jobs. The first was to give Henry a male heir. The second was to maintain an alliance with her relatives in Spain, including her nephew. She had failed, and Henry's sexy eyes began to wander. Home from all his wars, Henry ate up his daily 5,000 calories of meat as an infatuation began to grow for one of his wife's ladies in waiting, Anne Boleyn. Beautiful, intelligent, cultured. She was exactly Henry's type. Now, Henry had had dozens of mistresses, including Anne's sister, but Anne didn't want to just be Henry's side chick. She wanted to be his queen. Henry sent dozens of letters, thirsty love poems. In one, he proclaimed that he would like to kiss her pretty ducky. Henry's loins were on fire, but Anne kept him at just the right distance to drive him crazy and push him to find a way to get rid of his current wife. Wolsey, I want a divorce. And as the representative of the Pope here in England, I expect you to sort it out quickly and quietly. I don't want this to turn into a Europe-wide scandal. You got it, Your Majesty.
Hey, Big Papa! My boy Henry says he wants to divorce his wife. Any chance?
To Henry's shock and horror, Wolsey deferred the case back to the Pope in Rome. To make matters worse, after all the wars in Europe, the Pope was currently under the thumb of Charles V. Now everybody knew what was going on, and Henry's divorce trial had become a pawn of greater European politics. For Wolsey, the decision was a disaster. His job was to keep Henry happy, and Henry was very, very unhappy. Nevertheless, the divorce trial began. Henry's case rested upon the Bible verse in Leviticus that claimed marrying your brother's widow would lead to childlessness, and Henry was certainly having a hard time getting a male heir. He argued that the Pope had got it wrong when he allowed Henry to marry his brother's widow, and that net divorce was the only solution. However, the Pope and Charles V acquired some interesting letters from an unknown source. He wants to kiss her pretty. Man, this guy's loins are on fire. The Pope now knew the case for divorce may not actually be found in Henry's Bible, but in Henry's pants. After escaping Charles V, the Pope did send out one Cardinal Campeggio to oversee the trial. Campeggio was an old man racked with gout. It took him 6 painful months to travel from Rome to England, and when he finally got there, this kept happening. Hey, I need you to take a look at this evidence. I can't. My gout is acting out. Hey, are you ready to take my testimony? I can't. My gout is acting up. Hey, can you please make a decision? I can't. Your gout is acting up. My gout is acting up. Anne Boleyn, with her Protestant views in support of the Reformation, suspected the Pope was just delaying. For 2 whole years, the trial dragged on and on, and in the end, the Pope simply said, no divorce for you. Henry, the king that had previously defended the Pope militarily from France and intellectually from the reformist ideas of Martin Luther, who had respected the Pope above all, now found the peace standing between him and fourth base. Your Majesty, what will you do? I'm the king, Dum-Dum. I can do whatever I want. What? For his failure, Henry removed Wolsey from the court, a decision that was likely influenced by Anne Boleyn, who disliked the cardinal. Having fallen from grace and with potential charges of treason over his head, Wolsey died of illness a year later. Then, Henry set about removing England from the influence of the Pope. If you do that, I'll excommunicate you. Who cares, man? Oh no, apathy, my weakness. Henry gathered theologians and scholars together to help him make his case against the Pope. Together, they argued to the people of England that the Pope's rule over the Church was basically a takeover of what had once been a self-governing, national English Church. And if that sounds familiar, some historians do believe this moment may have laid the foundations for English Euroscepticism. That's right, Brexit may have been influenced by Henry's explosive launch. By and large, the people gave Henry their support, and those who didn't were going to go for a rough time. But for now, Henry assumed the role of supreme head of the English Church, and his next divorce trial was a foregone conclusion. Catherine of Aragon was Aragon, and Anne Boleyn was in it. Alright, I've upended the entire country to be with you, so you'd better give me a son, okay? Having finally married the girl of his dreams, it was party time for him. Life in the Tudor court was non-stop. Huge banquets, with each person eating on average and no vegetables. Those are for poor people. But don't let that stop the party. The toilets are communal. And Henry himself was the He ate the best food. He had 1,200 pairs of shoes. He didn't even have to wipe his own bum bum. Life was great. Everyone, Henry did. How did they pay for it all? Influenced by his very passionate wife, since Henry had the organization of this is not new for him. Oh my goodness. How often? Selling fake weapons at the cross? Vials of Jesus' blood that you got from the duck? Using religion in this way? This is terrible. I must confiscate all this money at once. How awful. I must take all of this away. Immediately. Monasteries across the nation were dissolved, and their riches were royal coffins. Obviously, many people weren't too happy about this, but Henry had a plan for that as well. Henry's descent into tyranny had begun, as any who rejected his new claim as supreme head of the English church found their heads on the chopping block. And so Henry partied. He danced, he sang, he jousted. Amy loved them. In 1537, Henry fell from his horse in a jousting accident. Not for the first time, but certainly the heaviest fall he had taken yet. Some historians believe the brain damage caused by the incident may have violently accelerated Henry's descent into tyranny. Executions were rapid. During his reign, it estimated 57 to 72,000 people put to death. Rich or poor, big or small, and the most prominent victim of all was to be Henry's own wife. It had been 3 years since their marriage. Anne had been pregnant 4 times, yet she had only been able to produce one healthy child, a girl. What's more, it's possible she had been going around insulting Henry's manhood. Henry's eyes, once again, began to wander. His new top man, Thomas Cromwell, didn't want to end up like Cardinal Wolsey, and so he came up with a plan. There was a court musician who had been quite flirtatious in public with the Queen. Well, Thomas Cromwell and his boys got a forced confession out of him, saying that it didn't stop at innocent flirtation, and the charges came rolling in. Listen, man, we need to... Oh no. You're gonna divorce me, aren't you? Just like your last wife. Oh, no. I'm not gonna divorce you. It's much worse than that. Anne was charged with adultery, perversion, even incest, and plotting to kill the king himself. The jury found her guilty, including her own uncle and ex-fiancé, both fearing the wrath of the king. And on May 19, 1536, Anne Boleyn was Anne Boleyn. Literally the next day, Henry married one of his ladies-in-waiting, Jane Seymour, his third wife, after Anne had snapped up his manhood. Since he still had no male heir, he began a campaign to ensure the public knew he was zero as a guest. He had this famous portrait painted of the manliest man I've ever seen, and then he would even have his physician make a declaration about himself. King Henry is a fine specimen of a man, and... don't make me say this. Say it. And every time I look at him, I wish I was a woman. The truth is, after his jousting accident, the king had badly injured his leg and was no longer very active, yet he was still eating his daily 5,000 calories. So by now, Henry was extremely unhealthy. For the remainder of his life, he would incur a number of illnesses, and his injured leg
Frank Cullotta was a member of one of the most dangerous mob crews in history.
Frank was cold-blooded, he was a killer, he was a criminal.
I had no remorse. He follows his ruthless mob boss, Tony the Ant Spilatro, to Las Vegas for a glittering opportunity to live the high life.
First year in Las Vegas, it was good, made a lot of money, did a lot of partying, did a lot of gambling. Yeah, it was very good.
But his hopes for hitting the jackpot died.
But then it got to be very bad.
No!
when his boss decides to take him out.
Clean your dirty laundry.
But breaking the mob's code of silence could mean the death of his dark American dream and the end of the entire Chicago outfit.
Do I consider myself a rat? Absolutely.
In Chicago, thanks to bootlegging, Tommy guns, and extreme violence, organized crime first makes a name for itself in the 1920s. Led by the infamous Al Capone, the Chicago mob is known as the Outfit. Under Capone's leadership, the Outfit earns a reputation as the most dangerous mafia gang in the world. By 1975, the Outfit orders the killing of their own boss, Sam Giancana, as he is about to testify for the FBI. That same year, they allegedly orchestrate the disappearance of union leader Jimmy Hoffa. In the 1970s, the Outfit sets its sights on Las Vegas.
Well, the Chicago Outfit's interest in Las Vegas was primarily the operation of skimming at the hotels that they controlled.
Dennis Arnoldi is a retired FBI agent assigned at the time to the Las Vegas division.
I worked in the area of organized crime, specifically the Chicago Outfit.
In the 1970s, the Outfit controls 3 casinos in Las Vegas. Mob boss Tony the Ant Spilatro runs their operations on the Strip. Despite his small stature that earned him his nickname, Spilatro is a notoriously ruthless enforcer for the Outfit.
Tony Spilatro was a tough guy. He could really handle himself.
In 1971, Spilatro sets up shop in Vegas to handle the Outfit's business there, fencing stolen goods, extorting locals, and skimming gambling profits. By 1979, business is booming for the Outfit, but Spilatro needs more muscle to control the casinos. He turns to his childhood friend from Chicago, Frank Culata. Culata is a second-generation criminal, loyal to the Mafia's code of complete obedience and willing to do whatever it takes to please Spilatro.
Frank Culata was cold-blooded. He was a killer. He was a criminal. Tony trusted Frank to do the right thing for the Outfit.
I said, what are you expecting out of me out here? What's my function going to be? He first of all wanted me to watch his back to make sure that he wouldn't get whacked. He also wanted me to keep in contact with pit bosses, casino managers, and the Stardust. What I've learned about being connected to the Outfit is you definitely had to follow the protocol. If you went against it, you were going to get either reprimanded, beaten up, or killed.
Culata also realizes there is money to be made in Vegas for himself and the Outfit, which gets a cut of any crime an associate commits.
It did look like easy pickings, probably, to the Chicago Outfit.
You know, everybody wants to move to Vegas. It was a town, you know, people think the streets are lined with gold. Sure, I thought it was a great opportunity to live in Vegas.
The exploits of Culata and his boss, Tony Spilatro, became the basis for Martin Scorsese's 1995 film, Casino. In the movie, the character based on Tony Spilatro was played by Joe Pesci, and Frank Culata by actor Frank Vincent. And just like in the film, the real mobsters have Vegas in their back pockets.
A lot of money was going out through the skimming, and they wanted to make sure that it was getting back to them in Chicago.
So far, local law enforcement is powerless to stop the mob's reign over Sin City. But a crackdown is coming, one that will eventually weaken the Outfit's hold on Vegas forever. In Vegas, Tony Spilatro asked Culata to put together a crew of the best criminals he can find, a team that would come to be known as the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang.
Back in the early 80s, alarm systems were not as sophisticated as they are today. Frank Culata's crew understood this. Therefore, they would often just bash a hole in the side of the wall. Therefore, they earned the nickname as the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang.
Culata's team will also function as professional enforcers for the Outfit.
The guys in my crew that I put together, one was a master burglar. His name was Leo. The other one was a soldier, Ernie. Wayne was also an armed robber with a clean face. When I say clean face, he could give up face to pull an armed robbery because he lived in Chicago. He'd come back and forth. Then I had Larry. He was a killer. No different than a serial killer. Loved to kill.
Frank's crew in Las Vegas certainly would deal with people that they felt had stolen money from the mob, cheated the mob, that type of thing. They were used for that type of situation.
Spilatro also plans to use Culotta's crew to earn some easy money. He guarantees them a piece of the action, and then he sets the hole-in-the-wall gang loose on Las Vegas. For Culotta, it's a chance to live it up in Las Vegas and improve his standing in the mob. As long as he stays on the good side of Spilatro and the Chicago outfit, the opportunities seem endless.
We robbed a lot of drug dealers. They were the easiest ones to rob. We robbed everything there was to be robbed as long as there was money involved. First year in Las Vegas was good, made a lot of money. A lot of money. We robbed a lot of jewelry stores. Yeah, it was very good. The one who makes the most money's got the most power. It's all about money.
Culotta's crime spree makes him a rising star in the Vegas criminal world. And the job comes with perks.
Did a lot of partying, did a lot of gambling. I had a lot of girls around me. You know, they wanted to be around wise guys. It was a glamorous life.
But Culotta's increasing status in the outfit is threatened after he becomes involved with a small-time crook and drug dealer named Jerry Lisner.
Jerry Lisner was an individual in Las Vegas. He had a reputation as a con man.
I was introduced to this Lisner guy, and I didn't like this guy very much because I could see he was sort of like a weasel.
He approached Frank one time regarding a scam he was going to run.
When Lisner found out who I was connected to, meaning Tony Spilatro, he latched on to me.
But Spilatro and Culotta find out that Lisner is cooperating with the feds.
Jerry Lisner testified in a federal grand jury. At that point, Frank and Tony were concerned about what he might have said.
Because we got to kill him.
Culotta, following mob rules, obeys Spilatro.
I never got any joy out of killing people. That's what I had to do. I mean, if I was ordered to do it, whatever it was, I'd have to do it. Motion goes out the window.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, baby?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, all right. What's going on?
With his lookout man, Wayne, outside, Culotta moves in for the kill. Culotta, always the loyal soldier, carries out his orders.
I shoot him in the head. The first two went in there, they were rapid, real fast. Bang, bang. He's running. We're still running, and I know I'm shooting him in the head. And I just can't understand why nothing's happening.
Murdering Lisner proves more difficult than expected.
Natural reaction for anybody, if you're this far into a murder, is to complete it. So the best thing I could do is strangle him. The cord just snapped. Meanwhile, there's blood all over the place.
Then, Culotta hears someone enter the apartment.
My first reaction when the door was open was get myself in a defense mode where I could attack. And it was Wayne. If somebody else came in that door, I would have had to kill him.
Frank, what do you need?
He must have heard the shots, wonders why I'm not coming out, so he comes in to give me a hand. I reload the gun, put a pillow on the back of his head, and I emptied the rest out in his face. You're almost at a bit of panicking right at that time.
Culotta does whatever it takes to get the job done, expecting that Spilatro will be loyal in return.
I drag him and I throw him into the pool. So wash anything, evidence he had on him of me, goes in the pool.
Frank Culotta and Tony Spilotro would only consider it a business situation. Whether they liked him or not, they felt that murder would have to be conducted in order to protect them specifically and the outfit in general.
Vegas police suspect that the outfit has something to do with the killing and numerous other crimes around the city, but they don't have any hard evidence yet.
It's a small town, and you're not going to get away with it forever.
Especially with a new lawman in town. Sheriff John McCarthy and his team vow to rid Vegas of organized crime.
And they swore that they were going to bring down Tony Spilotro and Frank Culotta. They swore that they were going to end organized crime in Las Vegas.
McCarthy put Spilotro's crew under almost constant surveillance.
It was 24 hours a day they would follow us, but yet we were still able to commit robberies.
The mob is beating the feds at their own game.
One thing we had going for us as professional criminals, we had people monitoring their calls, the police calls, plus the detectives' calls. Any cops that were undercover, their radio system was top of the line. We had a better communication system than they did. So we were a step ahead of them at all times.
But Culotta makes a mistake when he ignores the outfit and commits a crime solely for his own gain. Frank uses his gang to steal furniture for his own house.
They go in and they empty this whole place. And they bring it to my new house.
Spots Culotta and his gang suspiciously moving new furniture into his house.
The following morning at 6 a.m., my wife goes and answers the door. Everybody's there, the whole police department. And they took us both to jail, my wife in her slip and me in my robe.
It was this petty burglary that would eventually lead to the end of mob control of Las Vegas. The public arrest angers Culotta's boss, Tony Spilotro, and he refuses to pay Culotta's bail.
With all these problems, my relationship with Tony was strained.
While Frank Culotta was in jail, he was not making any money. And if you're not making any money, what good are you?
But Culotta has more than prison to worry about, but he doesn't stay in Spilotro's good graces.
At this particular time, I had to find a score that was going to be well worth our while.
The payoff for Culotta must be big enough to give Spilotro a healthy cut and pay his own legal bills. Once he forks over the cash for his own bail, Culotta gets a tip about a local jewelry store.
And they said that this place could possibly have $1 million in jewelry and cash in there.
This could be the most lucrative heist in Culotta's criminal career. It could also be his last chance to keep Spilotro from turning on him. But Culotta is short a driver for the jewelry heist. His associate Ernie brings in a new man, Sal.
Well, Ernie meets this guy, Sal Romano. I didn't like Sal. For some reason, I had this gut feeling that the Sal guy was a bad guy.
Unbeknownst to Culotta, Sal is secretly working with FBI agent Dennis Arnoldi.
The FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department working together. It was through Sal Romano we learned of the burglary.
Sal was to drive the station wagon there, park it, and when they unloaded it, bring it to another spot. We had torches and all the equipment you would need to go through with a roof into a vault. Larry, Sal, and I remained on the ground for communication.
Let's get the job done, okay? Let's get the job done. Sal, you hearing me? You in there? Talk to me, Sal.
Suddenly, Sal vanishes.
I had no idea where he was. I knew he wasn't there. I said, something's gonna happen. So I'm telling you, I got a gut feeling this guy's a rat. So I seen the car at the end of the block. And I said, this looks like the feds down there. Then they come in from all directions. And then they arrested me. And I seen that they had my 3 guys on the concrete out in front. They took them off of the roof, and they were cuffing them, with the exception of Sal Romano.
Thanks to his long criminal career, Frank is facing a possible life sentence. The arrest could also be the end of his rocky relationship with his boss, Tony Spilatro.
I'm sitting in the Clark County jail, and I'm sort of mad at Tony.
He'd always been told if this happened to you, the outfit would take care of your wife and family. But his was not being taken care of. He needed an attorney, and he asked Tony Spilatro for help, but Tony would only come up with part of the money.
He never said, I'm sorry, I made the wrong call on this. He didn't help on any of the bails. Sure, I'm mad at Tony for not helping.
Frank knows that behind bars, he's a sitting duck as far as the outfit's concerned.
He knew, being in jail, the outfit would think that he might possibly become a government witness, and therefore would kill him.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to get over it, and then I get a visit.
The FBI brings a tape of a conversation they want Frank to hear. A warning that his life is in danger.
And that's when I heard that audio tape.
I'm telling you, we've got to do something about Frank.
One of the alpha guys in Chicago telling Tony, clean your dirty laundry.
Vegas, 1982. Frank Culotta learns his old friend and mob boss, Tony Spilatro, has put a hit out on him. He knows he must make a decision.
And I sat there and I started thinking and thinking about how wrong things were going for me with Tony.
Realizing his promising future with the mob is unraveling, Culotta makes a life-changing decision.
I was angry. I felt as though I was betrayed. So I called the FBI. Then we sat down and I gave him all this information that I had.
Culotta's defection is a major coup for law enforcement.
I worked very steadily with Frank Culotta from the time he became a government witness in 1982 for several years.
By 1983, Culotta's testimony led to the indictment of 18 people on federal racketeering charges, including Tony Spilatro. Culotta fingered Spilatro as the mastermind behind the hole-in-the-wall gang, who the FBI believed committed at least 200 robberies between 1980 and 1981. Culotta also tied Spilatro to the Jerry Lisner killing.
Tony Spilatro and his associates were eventually indicted in federal court in Las Vegas, and they went to trial. The trial ended in a mistrial.
But Spilatro was also a suspect in more than 20 murders, with 3 more high-profile trials still to come. In 1986, he finally met the same fate as many of his fellow mobsters.
Not too long after that, Tony Spilatro and his brother were killed by their associates in the Chicago outfit. Both Tony and Michael had been beaten to death.
The Spilatro brothers were dumped in a grave in an Indiana cornfield. The film Casino recreated the killings in a scene considered one of the most violent in motion picture history.
I was not happy with it. Truly, I didn't like the idea of the way they killed him. I figured if they wanted to kill him, why don't they just shoot him in the head? Or strangle him. Why beat him to death, you know? Why make him suffer?
Spilatro's brutal murder ended an era in Las Vegas. The mob would never regain its power on the Strip. And in fact, Sin City cleaned up its image in the 1980s, billing itself as a family destination. Frank Culotta served 8 years in prison for his crimes. When released, Culotta joined the Witness Protection Program, leaving behind his Vegas lifestyle. It took years for Culotta to come to terms with his own decision to break the mob's code of honor he had followed for so long.
It's a very, very difficult decision to make when you grew up into a world like I grew up in. Everybody's honorable to everybody's. It's the syndicate, the outfit that comes first.
But today, the infamous outfit is not nearly as strong as it once was. In the last 30 years, trouble with the law leaves only about 50 made members, down from approximately 300 during the outfit's heyday. For Culotta, Hollywood came calling, and in 1995, in addition to appearing as a hitman known as Curly in Scorsese's Casino, he became a consultant on several TV shows and films. Today, Culotta lives with the consequences of his actions, but he'll never find peace.
Do I consider myself a rat? Absolutely. I'm probably gonna always be paranoid till the day I die about who's in back of me.
Frank Culotta has every reason to live his life looking over his shoulder.
Okay, so Frank Culotta. Frank, you grew up in Chicago.
That's correct.
And you had involvement with the Chicago mob, which was called the Outfit, Chicago Outfit?
Yeah, we refer to it as the Outfit.
Yeah. And your father had a similar kind of path as you, right?
My father, you know, he never wanted to be a gangster. He was a thief, he was a killer, you know, he was all of them things. But he never wanted to be controlled by any organization like back then it would have been the syndicate or the outfit.
Right. And tell me about your childhood. You grew up with your mom and dad.
Yeah, I grew up, I had a sister, she was 5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was 9 months pregnant with my brother when my father died. So my brother never got to meet his father.
Oh, wow.
And she was a very good mother. At least, I know, everybody thinks their mother's the best. Well, I feel as though my mother was the best.
Yeah.
Woman visited me every day, every Sunday in jail for as many years as I did, since I was a kid.
That's great. Tell me about your father.
My father was, he was not a bank robber, but he would do it, I guess. He did a lot of robberies and burglaries. He was more or less a good wheelman, getaway driver. That's what his reputation was. How I knew all of this stuff was because of relatives used to tell me as I was growing up, and his friends, my father's friends. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that stuff. I just knew my father when I was a kid had a violent temper, and he was very providing for the house. Very good. He hollered at my mother a lot. He was very jealous, but very much in love. And I love my father. To this day, I still love him.
He's Italian. That explains a lot of it, right?
He died in an automobile accident. He was killed. He was being pursued by the police because he had, back then they used to call them gas stamps, rationing stamps. And he had a carload of them. He just had been sentenced to 8 years in Des Moines, Iowa, because he got caught out there. I think he was set up. So he was out on some type of an appeal bond, and he had more of these stamps in his car. And he took off, and he got killed in the car accident.
And there's a connection between your father and so you met Tony Spilotro, who is the infamous Chicago mobster, when you guys were kids, right?
I guess Tony Spilotro and myself met at a very young age. I'm assuming he was about 12 years old, or maybe 11, somewhere around there. It's been a long time, but it was around there. And my mother finally sent me out. She says, "You got to start, you know, go make money. Here's a shoebox. Make a shoebox." So I made a shoebox, shoe shine box, because I was stealing out of paper bags before then. I was climbing up the pole and reaching in the bag, grabbing nickels out and running. Finally, the guy started chasing me.
That's how they sold newspapers back then.
Newspapers, yeah, there were newspapers. It was on your honor. You drop a nickel in and take a paper out. Well, I dropped my hand in and took all the money out.
Yeah.
So I, finally start chasing me. So that's when I start shining shoes. And the main street in Chicago that I hung on and been up and down all my life is a street called Grand Avenue. So I'm on one side of the street and I hear a voice yelling at me, "You're in my territory, get out of here." And I look across the street and I see a guy that's a little shorter than me. So he starts walking towards me, I walk towards him. He says to me, "This is my territory. You need to get out of here, I'll bust your head." And I look up at the street sign and I said, "I don't see your name. What's your name?" And he says, "Splatro." I said, "I don't see your name in that street sign, and I'll be back there tomorrow." But he said, "Well, when I come back tomorrow, I'm busting your head." I said, "I'll be back." So the next day I come back, I was there every day for a week or two. And I didn't see this little guy with this bad attitude. Then one day I heard, "Hey," because he had asked me my name when we were arguing on the street. He said, "What's your name?" And I told him, "Collada, Frank Collada." So when I seen him after a week or two, he yelled to me again and we met in the street in the middle of a streetcar stand. So we stood by the tracks. And he said, "I gotta ask you a question. What was your father's first name?" And I said, "Why?" He said, I just need to ask you and I'll tell you why. I said, "It was Joe, or Joseph." He said, "Well, you and I are gonna be friends the rest of our lives." And I said, "Why? What's the reason for that?" And he said, "My father overheard me talking with my brothers about a guy I was having a problem with, shining shoes in my territory. When he heard the name Collada, he says, he called me in the room and he said, 'Find out if that boy's name is that boy's father's name is Joe.' He said, 'Because if it is, you and him got to be the best friends from now on, because his father saved my life.'" And that's what Tony told me in the conversation. And I said, then I come to find out what took place and how my father saved Tony's father's life. Tony's father's name was Patsy. Tony's father had a restaurant on Grand and Ogden. We refer to that as the old neighborhood. It's up northwest. So it was called Patsy's Restaurant. And he was famous for his sandwiches, his meatball sandwiches. What I come to find out is my father went in there like everybody else around that area to get food and spend money. Patsy told him one day, he said, "Hey, Joe, I'm having a lot of problems with these grease balls." My father, grease balls back then meant the black can. That was the only thing around them. There was no Al Capone, no Tony Acaro. So my father said, "Well, what are they doing to you, Patsy?" And he said, "Well, they come in, they collect. They want to collect from me every week. Taxes, to stay in business." He said, "I can't afford it." He said, "I'm just a little businessman here." My father said, "What day they come in?" And I guess he told him the day. My father said, "I'll be here that day before they get here. In your back, the kitchen. Do you usually bring them in the kitchen when you give them money?" He said, "Yeah." So my father says, "All right." So the following, whatever the day was, he came in with two of his guys, and they waited in the kitchen. So when this guy come to collect money from Patsy, Patsy brought him into the kitchen. Well, they got him in the kitchen, my father and his other two friends, and they killed him. Patsy wasn't in the kitchen when they killed him. Patsy walked out of the kitchen. And then I don't know how they disposed of his body, but that's what happened to this guy. Well, the word got back to their boss. The old grease fellow used to walk up and down the streets putting black cans on doors. And he wanted to know who these guys were, and they was afraid to go by Patsy's because he didn't know if Patsy had any more guys waiting for him. So he started continuing his operation around Grand and Ogden by putting black can. They'd have a black ink can put on people's doors, paper, and people would know what that meant. So happened to be one day my mother came home and there was one on our door. And she looked at it, she didn't know what the hell it meant. So when my father came home, she said, "Joe, somebody left this thing on the door." Well, he went crazy. And he, and then he found out where this guy went for the boss. But it happened to be his underboss, the boss's underboss. goes for a haircut. And he caught him in the barbershop, and he killed him in the barbershop. Then he thought to himself, this is what I was told. You got to get the head of this guy, the head of the organization. So by this time, the head of that organization, the Black Hand, went in hiding. And he took his wife with him. And they found out that he was in a motel with his wife. They kicked down the door and they killed him in bed in front of his wife. Then I heard his wife. That was the end of the Black Hand. So then, soon after that, the outfit became, Al Capone and these guys. And they wanted my father to be involved. And he didn't want to be involved. He didn't want nothing to do with any type of organization. So that was basically the story of my father.
Great story. So that paved the way for the mob in Chicago, then.
Oh yeah, Terrell, Chicago. See, there's a street in Chicago, and most of these guys that were connected to Al Capone lived on that street in Chicago. It was called Taylor Street, and that's where it's called the 42 gang come out of. That means there was 42 bosses, 42 guys that were made men. They come out of that area. Sam Giancana, Pete Tagley, I could go on and on, but I'm not. It's too long. And they all come out of that neighborhood. All old guys. Right now they've been over 100 and some years old. And Tony Arcaro. Tony Arcaro, as a matter of fact, lived in the house in front of our house when I was a little child, maybe 4 or 5 years old. I didn't know that. He was probably not nobody back then. I like Sam Giancana. I would always refer to him as a man's man.
So you've had interactions with so many big and powerful mobsters. From
I could go on and on to the interaction I've had with mobsters. I could be here a week, and I'm not going to be here.
Just pick 2 or 3 that you think are particularly interesting.
Milwaukee Phil, I've Jack Cerrone, Willie Messina.
But tell me about some of the, like one or two of these individuals' personalities.
Personalities.
What made them unique and interesting?
Well, they were all. Each one of them were unique in their own way. They all had tempers. Some of them were narcissistic.
Narcissistic.
And some of them were just the nicest guys in the world. So you had to be careful how you treated each individual. You'd know what they were before you even got to meet them. So if you were half smart, you know how to handle them, on a speaking arrangement.
Yeah.
Now, Milwaukee Phil, I always felt as though he growled when he talked. Sam DiStefano was a psychopath. I worked for him, too. I've seen him in action. Definitely out of his mind. Dietz was all right. Dietz was wild, too. Battaglia. James Tortorella, Turk. Like Turk. I used to steal with Turk. Turk became a boss, too. Joe Ferriola. We call him Joe Nago. Great guy. For us, these guys, you're going to get fucking whacked. There's no doubt about it, you're going to get whacked. Like I said, I could go on all day. I met Tony Arcaro 2 times. I didn't talk to him on a level where he would be like my going by, hey, buddy, I knew that. I respected this guy so much. Anything he done because he was a gentleman. He never talked down to people. He knew who I was when I was 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, this guy knew who I was. Shocked me. But that's how the word travels in that circle. When they know a guy's a tough guy, he's capable, they watch you. One time Tony Arcaro told me, hey kid, I know who you are. And I looked at him. He was in a pancake house. And I said, who are you, sir? My name is Anthony Arcaro. And I said, oh my God. It's a pleasure to meet you. I was like shocked, because I heard about him. And at that particular time, Paul Rica was the boss of the outfit. All right? Paul Rica was the boss for about 10 years. So he said to me, I know all about you, Frankie. He said, you got a bad temper. He says, you could go a long way. He says, if you control your temper. Just some friendly advice. And by the way, who are your friends? He wanted to know who my friends were next to me. So I told him, and the guy said, hello, Mr. Arcaro. And then the next time I had to stop Willie Messina used to work for with Accardo. He used to do things for Accardo's house. Accardo had a monkey. Tony Accardo had a monkey. So poor Willie Messina was put in charge to the monkey. Because the monkey would tear up the basement.
Yeah, it's much.
So one time I had to stop there and pick up something from Willie. And Willie was saying, this fucking monkeys, I kill him. He said, if I could get away with it. And then Tony Accardo come home. And he looked at me and he waved. And I said, hello, Mr. Accardo. Always Mr. Accardo. He said, how's my monkey doing, Willie? Willie will shake his head like that. And I left. I said, I gotta get out of here. But yeah, I know. That's the only 2 times I talked to him.
Tell me about Larry Newman, who was somebody.
Larry Newman. Strange that you say that. They talk about a lot of vicious guys in the outfit, and there were. Like La Petre, his brother, Jimmy. Vicious, crazy bastard. Scary guy. I think Larry Newman was worse than any one of the worst they had in the outfit. He was a Jewish guy. I met him in a penitentiary, Stateville Penitentiary. He was doing a $1.25. It's 125 years for a triple murder. He did 11 and a half years on it. His father paid off the parole board. His father was very wealthy. So that's where I met Lefty. We worked in an assignment together, and they call it detention hospital. They refer to us guys as the goon squad, because we would do what the guards didn't have the balls to do. Get crazy people out of the cells and bring them to this detention hospital where all the psychos were. And that's who we watched. There was 8 of us. So we controlled that floor, that hospital unit, with the psychos. And that's where I met him, and then Larry joined me in later years in Vegas.
But he was a killer that took it to another level. He was a killer, but he took it to another level, right?
I refer to Larry Newman as a serial killer. He enjoyed killing. It didn't make a difference how he killed you. If he had to cut you up in pieces to get rid of you, he could do that. You know, I mean, the guy, he's just an evil man. He was an evil man. He died in the penitentiary.
I gotta log out. I'm getting tired.
He went back I put him back in the penitentiary because he